Hello everyone, welcome to your channel Data Science Studio, and today we are going to start with day 10 of essential Python programming for data science, and we are going to start with some of the important string functions that helps you both in data science scenarios, and when we will be talking about natural language processing, these kind of functions will become very important. So let's get started. So first of the some of the string functions we'll discuss today, and some of the string functions we'll discuss as our part 2, which will be in day 11. So first function, which is capitalize. So capitalize function actually returns the string with first character as uppercase and rest as lowercase. So let's say I have a string over here, and if I run it with string.capitalize, it will make first character as uppercase and rest all as lowercase. So that is the capitalize method. Second method which comes in part of a string function is case fold method. Now this method is similar to lower and converts a string to lowercase, but it is slightly more aggressive than lowercase. For example, in this particular case, I have a value which is like beta, and if I want to, it is already lowercase value, and if I kind of use case fold, it will convert that beta into double S, but if I use lower, it will keep beta as it is. So case fold is slightly more aggressive than lowercase, and it kinds of converts more characters into lowercase, but it's fine to go ahead with lower in most of your scenarios. Next function in the string is about center, which takes two parameters. One is the length and another is character. So what it does is it takes two parameters, length and character, and center aligns it based on length and character provided, and default is space. For example, I want to center this string, which is string for practice, and it should have 30 characters. So what it will do is, by default, it will ingest the spaces on the left hand side and right hand side, so that the total length of the string is 30 characters. And this is from the perspective of center. It is basically used to align the string based on the character provided. And you can also do something like this: str.center and 30 comma. If you want to fill it with some character, that also you can do. It will fill it up with some character. Next topic is count. So count gives the occurrence, number of occurrences of a substring in a given string. So there are two optional parameters in the count. One is start and end. If I don't specify any parameter, it will consider everything. For example, in the first example, it will print what is the count of R which is present. In the second, it will print what is the count of R which is present from 0 index up to 7th index. And the third, it will print the count of R character which is present from 0 to 15th index. 0 means the beginning of the array string, and 15 means the that end index. So if I print it, here you can see the different, you will see different outputs. For the first, from beginning to end, it is present 3 times, and in the second case, it is only present is 1 time because I have used the index 0 and 7. So this is from the perspective of count. Count is a kind of important function when we are talking about the string manipulation. There is another function which is encode. So if you want to encode into a string into certain specified encoding scheme, then you can use the encode method. Default is UTF-8. So here I am encoding the my string into ASCII. So we can see it converts the string in ASCII, which is American Standard of Code Information Interchange. Next example which we have function is ends with. So it checks actually if the string ends with a specified suffix. This also takes three parameters. One is your string which you want to check, and then the start index and the end index. So you want to check if your string ends with practice. You want to check if your string ends with practice and if it is present between 0 and 10th index, and then 0 and 30th index. So if you run, the first is true because by default it will search from beginning to end. The second is false because between 0 and 10 index the practice is not present. And the third is 0 to 38 index, it is true because that practice is present. So ends with also is a important string function to identify if a string or a substring is present inside a string. Next method is if we want to find any particular index of the first occurrence of a specified value, and it returns -1 if the value is not found. For example, Python is case sensitive language, and here I am trying to find this for and small for. So let's see what is the output. So when we run it, for the for with f as capital, the index is 7, which means that it starts from the 7 index. But for small for, it is -1, which means that the default is -1, which means the value is not found. So that is about the find method. One of the most important method in string is format. So the format method inserts the formatted value inside the placeholder designated by curly braces. So for example, in Python you cannot concatenate both string and integer, and if you want to do that, you can go ahead and use format method. So what it does is, so let's say I have a string where I say total cost of item is, I have to specify a placeholder for that integer or any value, and let's say that I want to print a cost variable, and that cost variable should be up to 2 decimal places. So I will specify a colon mark and then followed by .2f. 2f means up to 2-digit floating point number. So if we run it, it will print the total cost of item is 2002.34 rupees. So this is about the format method, which is very important as part of string functions. Next is format map. So format map is slightly a more advanced version of format, wherein I can pass a dictionary with multiple key value pairs, and I can specify the key in the placeholder and pass the mapping dictionary. For example, in this particular mapping dictionary, I have stock 1 and stock 2 prices, and I am trying to put two placeholders for stock 1 and stock 2, which prints data up to 2 decimal places. So here I am passing in the format map method, I am passing this mapping dictionary, and it will automatically consider the stock 1 and stock 2 which is present in the placeholder. It can be, you can print one value or you can print 10 values, that doesn't matter. You just have to pass a dictionary and you have to specify the key in the placeholder. So it becomes, it's slightly more convenient that format method. So you can pass a mapping dictionary over here. In case of format method, you have to pass the multiple parameters. Next topic is index. So in case of index method, it is used to search index for a specified string, and this also take three parameters. One is the your substring or string, and the start index and the end index. So for example, if I have to find where the for is present and what is the location of index of for between 0 to 30. So if I run it, in both cases the answer is 7, because within the start and end index, this for is present at the 7th index, and within start and end index, if it is not present, the for is present again at 7th index, because if I don't specify start and end, it will consider by default as beginning to end. Next very important method is join. So the join method combines all items in an iterable into an string. So if you have a iterable like list or tuple and you want to combine all the items in a string with a specified character, it could be space, it could be any digit. So let's say that if I run this code, so here it is joining 1, 2, 3, 4 along with a space. And in the second example, it is concatenating all the items with a 9. So the join method combines all items in an iterable into a string with a separator. If you are not specifying a space or any digit or any character, it will consider no space at all. So for example, in the same example, if I remove the space, so it will do, the output will be something like this. So there is no space at all. So join becomes very important method in data processing when we are talking about string data processing and we are talking about NLP projects. It combines your iterable into a string. And then again you can join the dictionary as well, where it will pair up all the keys of a dictionary like this. So in today's session, the most important functions which from the data science perspective, you have capitalized, you have count is an important function, and ends with also is used many times. We have format, and format map is a very important function. If you want to concatenate both a string and integer values and you want to print it. And then you have join method as one very important method. So we will have one more session of the remaining string functions in our day 11, and you will be seeing that in those functions also we'll try to learn a variety of ways. So please subscribe, like and comment your channel, and stay tuned, stay connected. Thank you.